Hello everybody and welcome to the Lynn Life. It's been raining a lot lately and I've been itching to get out and enjoy some of this early fall weather on both of my bikes. I have two bikes that I enjoy, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the similarities and whether or not somebody that rides a motorcycle could transition to an e-bike, or somebody on an e-bike that gets used to riding an e-bike could transition to a motorcycle. And that's what I want to talk about. So let's get going. My name is Jonathan, and I'm a caregiver for my wife Lynn, who has a permanent brain injury. Things are a bit different now, but we're doing the best that we can. Join us as we experience the Lynn Life. So I'm going to go on a ride on one of the bikes. This one, it's a 2017 Harley-Davidson Heritage Softail, and I've had it since it was new, and I got a GoPro mounted on it, so you can come with me. Haven't been on it in a while because of the rain. I also have a brand new Be Cool Adventurer, which I also enjoy riding as well. And I wanted to talk about the two of them together. And I belong to an e-bike, or a couple e-bike groups on Facebook. And I hear a lot about people that are transitioning from a regular bicycle to an e-bike and some of the issues they have, because an e-bike is considerably heavier than a conventional bicycle. So they're having some difficulty with that, whereas I have been used to riding a Harley-Davidson, which my Heritage Softail weighs about 760 pounds. That's without me on it. And transitioning to an e-bike is easy for me. And some of the skills that you require to ride a motorcycle are very, very helpful when riding an e-bike. So perhaps I'll talk about some of that. But first, let's get on the road, and I'm taking you with me. Well, off we go. Of course, today we're riding on the motorcycle. But if you're interested in seeing a multi-camera e-bike ride, I did that a couple weeks ago. So just get on our channel and look for that. It's just a couple weeks ago, or I'll leave a link down below as well if you're interested in that. But today I really want to talk about new e-bike riders, actually, because I'm seeing the posts on the Facebook page, and I'm seeing that some people are uncomfortable when transitioning from a conventional bicycle to the e-bike because of the weight. Now, an average bicycle might weigh 15 or 18 pounds, and my e-bike weighs like 80 pounds. So that's quite a difference. So that's normal. It's normal feeling that, because it's something different. And it's important that you get comfortable with that, and you get to have some confidence in yourself in riding before you start riding on regular trails and riding with other people. Now, the same applies if you're new to riding a motorcycle. You would first get a permit, and what you should do is ride with someone else who's actually licensed and practice. And then in order to get your motorcycle license, at least in New York State, you have to take a driver's test. And just to make sure that you can handle the motorcycle and do the normal motorcycle drills, and being able to handle the motorcycle, especially at low speeds. Now, I mentioned low speeds, and that's the important part. It's easy to ride like I am right now in a straight line going fast. It's easy to keep the bike upright. But where it's difficult is at low speeds, like in a parking lot or maneuvering in your driveway or something like that. And that really comes into play when riding an e-bike, because you're not riding as fast. And you often have to slow down and maneuver and things like that. And when the bike is a little bit heavier and feels a little top heavy, you are unstable. So it's very important you learn how to maneuver that e-bike at low speeds. And what I recommend you do is, before you go on the trail, before you start riding with a whole group of other riders, to go find a parking lot, an empty parking lot or something similar, maybe a cul-de-sac or something, where you can practice. You can practice riding in circles, maneuvering at low speeds, and learn how to control that bike. Very, very important. The other thing which they teach us when you first learn to ride a motorcycle is wherever you look is where the bike is going to go. So stop looking at the ground, stop looking at your front wheel. Don't worry about that. Look where you're going. Look ahead. Keep your head straight ahead. And if you are going to be turning right, turn your head right. Turn your head towards the direction where you're going to go, and the bike will go there. That's how you do it on a motorcycle. That's how you're going to have to do it on an e-bike as well. There are more similarities between an e-bike and a motorcycle than you may think. Now, obviously, they both have two wheels and they both have a motor. Whether or not you actually have a throttle and handlebars, or you're strictly pedal assist. Personally, I prefer a throttle and the handlebars like I have, as well as the pedal assist, but I'm an experienced motorcycle rider, so that seems very natural to me. And if you were to ask me for my opinion, I'm still going to tell you I'd get a throttle and the handlebars. I use it to get across intersections, across the street, just to get started. In an emergency situation, if you get yourself comfortable to using that, I think it really helps you. But if you're not, that's okay. That's okay. But you still have to get used to the fact that it is a motorized vehicle. So you need to get used to that as well. Now, there's a large number of e-bikers out there that are my age or older. I'm in my 60s, and I do have arthritis in my knees, and going up hills just wasn't fun anymore. I was still riding a regular bicycle, but I prefer riding along the canal trails in New York State, which are flat, and I didn't have any problem doing that. But I really wanted to be able to start riding right out of my driveway and go for a ride, in the afternoon or whenever. And there's a lot of hills where I live, so I couldn't avoid them. So the e-bike really presented a solution for that, and I love it. Now, I am getting some exercise, and I'm going places I couldn't go on the bicycle. And it's terrific. And the transition for me was easy because I'm used to the heavy motorcycle. So that was no problem. But if you've never ridden a motorcycle before, and you're not comfortable with it, I understand that's going to be difficult. But the saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, that's not true. You definitely can. You can do anything you put your mind to. And if you're comfortable riding an e-bike and you get quite proficient in it, and you want to step it up a little bit and add even more adventure to your life, you might want to consider moving up to a motorcycle as well. And I'm not saying you have to go to a heavy Harley Davidson, but maybe even a motor scooter, something like that. That'll enable you to go even farther than you can on the e-bike. You know, they're efficient. They don't use much gas. They're inexpensive to insure and to register, and they don't take up much space in your garage. So it's a good mode of transportation if you want to consider it. But no matter how you get out there, get out there. Just look at these views. I love early fall when the skies are blue and the trees are just beginning to change. Not all the corn has been cut yet, and that's beginning to change colors. And you see little stands, little fruit stands that go up, and they're selling pumpkins. And in fact, I got to get my wife Lynn out. She wants to pick out some pumpkins, so we got to do that. We'll stop at one of these stands that we're going by right now. And it's just enjoyable. Whether you're going out on a motorcycle or your e-bike, it doesn't matter. It's just get out there. And it's an awful lot of fun. And it's just beautiful. The weather is just right this time of year, so it's definitely one of my favorite times of the year. And I don't like riding in traffic. I like being out in the country, whether I'm riding my motorcycle or riding the e-bike. I prefer to be away from cars. Cars are bad. In motorcycle world, we refer to people in cars as cagers, and they don't see you. They, always pretend that they don't see you at all, because many times they don't. In the last video I did that I vlogged on the e-bike, you will see a dump truck that did pull in front of me. It wasn't an emergency situation. I was ready for it. But then again, I'm a motorcyclist, so I'm used to people pulling in front of me. I am ready for it, always ready for it. So you got to be ready for it on an e-bike as well, especially if you're riding on the roads. If you're riding on a trail, there are other things you might have to be looking out for, like joggers, walkers, animals running in front of you, whatever. But always be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. Don't start daydreaming while riding, no matter what you're riding. So I hope I've offered some tips for you today and some beautiful views. Come join us on Patreon for even more content and become a Lynn Lifer. Just click the link in our description. That was a beautiful ride. I'm really glad I got out to do that today. Very enjoyable, beautiful scenery. I'm not sure if I'll get a chance to vlog another motorcycle ride this year. I'm definitely going to be out on the motorcycle during the fall. I may just go out to enjoy it again. And I'd like to go farther north, and where the trees are a little farther ahead than they are down here right now. But I'm definitely going to be out on the e-bike. Maybe I'll vlog one of those when the trees hit their peak around here. Maybe I'll do that, possibly. But either way, take my advice, what I said earlier. If you're new to e-biking or to motorcycling, find a parking lot or something similar, a vacant parking lot, where you can go out and practice. You don't want your first experience to be a bad one. So get out and practice. Just like everything, it requires practice. Learn to, keep yourself upright. Learn how to balance yourself on that, especially at low speeds. Higher speeds is easy. So low speeds, that's what you want to practice. So think that's about it. And we'll see you next time on the Wind Life.